higher television ratings, higher attendance figures. Ladies and gentlemen, that doesn't come courtesy of a league. It comes courtesy of the players that play in the league. And in her case, she was the most popular, which means she could have helped your bottom line, which means you should have seen that from day one and maximized it. But you didn't do it.
Stephen A. Smith didn't just make waves. He delivered a passionate, no-holds-barred criticism aimed straight at WNBA leadership and longtime figures like Sheryl Swoopes. In a clip that quickly went viral, the ESPN host called out the league for not giving Caitlin Clark, its biggest rising star, the support and spotlight she deserves. This wasn't your average sports opinion. It was a strong call-out on how the WNBA is mishandling one of the best chances it's had in years to grow the game.
Caitlin Clark, the people's champion! Let's get it!
That's a deep one.
Bang!
Just announced that Caitlin Clark and the Fever will be playing 41 of 44 games this year on national TV. Hey, come in and watch the other girl, right?
Right? Bang!
Teams are moving their games with the Fever to NBA arenas so they can sell more tickets. How about that?
Bang!
Angel Reese attempted a three this deep. I think she might dislocate her shoulder.
Bang!
You want some butter with that bread? Butter. Butter.
Butter pecan! Bang!
Here's the truth. Caitlin Clark is doing something no other WNBA player has done before. She's not just racking up stats. She's pulling in huge TV audiences, filling up arenas like it's the NBA Finals, and making women's basketball exciting for a whole new generation. But instead of rallying around her, the WNBA, under Commissioner Kathy Engelbert, seems slow to react. And instead of lifting her up, some legends like Sheryl Swoopes are downplaying her impact, pouring cold water on the momentum she's building.
Want to, rather. You were a bit hesitant and reluctant and resistant to it. So much so you didn't push for her to be on Team USA. So much so you had people like Sheryl Swoopes who didn't even want to mention her name. And everybody talking about other WNBA players not being appreciated. Nobody insulted them. Nobody dismissed their contribution. We were simply saying, despite the contributions for years and years and years, a lot of people didn't care. Fair or not, until Caitlin Clark came along.
Smith didn't hold back. He directly criticized the WNBA's leadership for missing a golden opportunity, one that could boost the league's visibility and revenue in a major way. In a time when the WNBA is hungry for mainstream attention, he says they're sleepwalking through the Caitlin Clark moment. And to him, this isn't just poor planning, it's the league shooting itself in the foot.
That they were going to let her know she was Rookie of the Year with a phone call in Connecticut during a practice before a playoff game. You can't make this up.
Let's get real. Caitlin Clark isn't just hype. She's the real deal. Rookie of the Year, WNBA First Team, and the face of a global wave of attention the league hasn't seen in years. And how did the WNBA respond? Barely a whisper. No big press release. No flashy highlight reels. Just a quiet phone call to let her know she won. Meanwhile, veteran players are getting full-blown celebrations for smaller awards, complete with confetti and catered events.
But if you went the opposite direction, it could have helped that much and facilitated you being in an even stronger position to get yours. But you didn't do it. You didn't do it. Wow.
And that's only scratching the surface. Clark's list of honors already includes Forbes 30 Under 30, Sports Business Journal's Sportsperson of the Year, AP Female Athlete of the Year, and Times Athlete of the Year. She's not just playing ball. She's out there promoting women's sports on big stages, making real moves off the court. Other leagues clearly see her value. Yet the WNBA seems hesitant to admit that, like it or not, their entire business is now revolving around her.
Seems to be some haterade in the league in regards to Clark, starting with WNBA legend Sheryl Swoopes herself.
Smith's rant wasn't just another hot take. It was a reflection of what fans have been saying online for months. Caitlin Clark is a once-in-a-generation talent, and instead of welcoming her with open arms, the league is treating her like a problem. It's as if she's upsetting some unspoken order that veterans like Sheryl Swoopes and current stars like Aya Wilson are determined to protect. no matter what it costs the league.
You know basketball. You know basketball. You know basketball. You know basketball better than me. You know basketball than any of the pundits. You know basketball better than most of the men that play basketball. There is no way in hell you just accidentally left Caitlin Clark's name out of that soliloquy that you dropped about the Indiana Fever. Stop it. You know that. Stop it.
And then there's Commissioner Kathy Engelbert. Smith didn't hold back, saying her leadership is the real issue. Her awkward media appearances, filled with vague promises and standard PR talk, make it clear she's out of touch with what's actually going on. When asked about Clark, Engelbert delivers the same old sound bites instead of offering a real strategy, the kind fans and players have been asking for. Meanwhile, WNBA veterans like Swoopes continue to throw shade, downplaying Clark's achievements and suggesting her hype is all fabricated. But Smith sees through that. He recognizes jealousy when he spots it. And more importantly, he knows that in professional sports, it's the stars who drive the league, and Clark is that star.
Believe there was actually a debate on who was Rookie of the Year last year. Imagine being that delusional. Bang! People need to understand she saved this league. Powder, there's no TV deals, no ad sponsorships, heck, no shoe deals for you, Angel Reese, no McDonald's money. The league losing millions of dollars each year. She saved them from bankruptcy. Time to be grateful. Bang! 93% of her games on national TV. She's like that. Bang!
If the WNBA keeps treating Caitlin Clark like just another rookie, they're not only making a huge mistake, they're squandering the best chance they've ever had to bring the league into the mainstream. Smith is sounding the alarm, because someone has to. Fans are paying attention. Sponsors are paying attention. The real question is, will the WNBA finally wake up?
WNBA MVPs in your career, would you consider each of those 3 seasons as dominant seasons for yourself?
No.
And I can't, bro. Sheryl Swoopes is willing to lie about her own career before she even admits that Caitlin is dominant.
But let's be honest, this isn't just about incompetence. There's a growing feeling among fans that Clark's treatment is being shaped by power struggles behind the scenes. Sheryl Swoopes, one of the league's founding legends, has made a habit of criticizing Clark, all while claiming she's protecting the game. She's repeatedly downplayed Clark's impact, suggested she's overhyped, and even implied that Clark hasn't earned her spotlight. The message seems clear. This league belongs to the veterans, and rookies should know their place.
It was for y'all not to go all in speaking your piece to elevate Caitlin Clark. So therefore, even more attention could have come and y'all could have reaped the benefits. Now you're going to do it anyway. And I get that. But you see my point, Clark? Rising tide lifts all boats. As much as her presence was maximized by the WNBA, you players could have done more to assist.
Smith wasn't having any of it. In his usual bold style, he slammed that gatekeeping mentality and called it what it is: counterproductive jealousy. He made it clear, Caitlin Clark has already earned more media attention, fan interest, and brand value than most WNBA players will see in their careers. And it's not because she's loud or flashy, but because she's delivering on the court, in the ratings, and at the box office. Let's be clear, Smith's rant wasn't an attack on the WNBA. Quite the opposite. It was a passionate plea for the league to stop sabotaging itself. He called Clark the ticket out of obscurity and urged the league to stop letting personal grudges block progress. His message was simple. You don't need to like Caitlin Clark to benefit from what she's doing for the game. Everyone's watching how the WNBA handles its biggest star. If they blow it, it won't just be a missed chance. It'll be a marketing disaster.
Notice when you're asking about Caitlin a lot, you bring up other rookies as well.
No league's ever about one player. That player could get hurt or whatever. So I think it's just to give recognition that in sports, people watch for compelling content and rivalries. And you can't do that alone as one person.
Caitlin Clark isn't just owning the court. She's changing the game for what it means to be a marketable athlete in women's sports. The endorsements, the sold-out arenas, the cultural buzz, it all screams superstar. But the only thing missing is a league willing to fully embrace her and let her lead them to the next level. If Kathy Engelbert and Sheryl Swoopes keep dragging their feet, they could end up watching from the sidelines as the biggest moment in WNBA history slips by. But if they wake up now, set aside their egos, and get behind the phenom that fans are already in love with, this league could blow up in ways they've only dreamed of.
One white, one black. And so we have that moment with these two. But the one thing I know about sports, you need rivalry. That's what makes people watch. They want to watch games of consequence between rivals. They don't want everybody being nice to.
The outrage over the WNBA's leadership hit a new high when Commissioner Kathy Engelbert stepped in front of a national audience. Fans were ready, even excited, to hear a bold, forward-thinking plan for the league's future. But instead of providing clarity or a strong vision, Engelbert delivered a vague mix of corporate jargon that left everyone more puzzled than informed. Her recent interviews on 60 Minutes and CNBC's Power Lunch didn't inspire confidence. They only highlighted how out of touch the league's leadership has become with the pulse of the game. Let's start with the 60 Minutes interview. When asked directly about Caitlin Clark's game-changing impact on the league, Engelbert had the perfect opportunity to recognize the generational talent reshaping the WNBA. Instead, she brushed it off with a dull soundbite. No league is ever about one player.
It's a balance, but certainly from a marketing dollars, but corporate partners are stepping up to endorse these players much more so than they were 5 years ago.
Technically true, sure, but in context, it came off as cold and dismissive. This was a golden opportunity to embrace the Caitlin Clark phenomenon, yet Engelbert acted like it was just another day at the office. Fans weren't having it. Social media exploded with criticism. How could the league be so out of touch? Clark is the reason arenas are selling out. She's the reason millions of new fans are tuning in. She's the spark women's basketball has been waiting decades for. But instead of celebrating her, the WNBA's own commissioner downplayed her. It was a PR disaster that only raised more questions about whether the league's leadership truly understands the moment they're in.
When Clark gets hit with a technical. After
I got a technical for basically being mad at myself because I missed the three and then I went and hit the backboard and he told me it was disrespectful to the game of basketball. So
corporate partners are now stepping up to endorse players far more than they were just 5 years ago. This isn't just a perception issue. It has real, on-the-court consequences. While Engelbert talks about marketing, Caitlin Clark is getting body-checked on live TV. The officiating has been wildly inconsistent, leaving both fans and players guessing which version of the rulebook will show up each night. For a star like Clark, whose game relies on speed, precision, and aggressive rim attacks, this inconsistency makes her an easy target. It's not just unfair, it's dangerous. Want an example? One game saw Clark hit with a technical foul for the crime of slapping the ring post. Yes, you read that right.
Yeah, and the one thing as a very long-term sports fan I know is that officiating and refereeing is always at the top of a fan's list, of the media's list. Obviously, not every, they're humans.